Fantastic result for the Drury team. Brett Drury trains and Alex Hearn rides a high pressure to take out the second event here at the KBRC today, and really nice ride from Alex.
Certainly was camped on the back of the leader throughout and looked to be travelling really nicely all the way through, and it was just a case of whether Alex was able to find that room he needed to extricate off the heels of Treasured Queen, and once that gap was able to present itself, he let down really nicely today. High pressure. He's been going really well all campaign. His barrier manners have been costing him. He's a horse that can miss the kick by 3 or 4 lengths, even more on occasion, but he was able to leave the gates cleanly today, and I do think he appreciated the drop back in trip to 1200 metres and found himself in a race which was a pretty genuinely run 1200 metres as well. There was a bit of pressure up in front despite the small field. I thought that really suited him this afternoon, and it showed in the result and the way he ran.
Absolutely, and as Brett alluded to as well, and you mentioned, has been really consistent, and Alex, I think, was the key as well today. It was a fantastic ride, and another exciting opportunity for Natika Riordan in the last today with Science Degree. She won and outrode her, she'd already outridden her 4 kilo claim.
She has?
Yes, so she had, and it was a great opportunity, and Brett had been supporting her all the way through, and I know she's got a very big soft spot for that galloper.
Yeah, and Brett's giving her some nice opportunities and has done so over the last few meetings up here at the KBRC as well. Science Degree, as you mentioned, was able to get the job done under Natika last start. Interesting aspect of that race today, which we will get to a little bit later on this afternoon, is whether he can now tick that 1400 metre box, which is something that he's been unable to do in his career to date, and it does look to be a bit of a tougher race than what he was able to win last start. So he is going to need to elevate, but he is the sort of horse that it wouldn't surprise if he was able to find the front and really take some running down if he can handle the 7 furlongs.
Plenty of racing as mentioned today, Riley. We've just been up to Port Hedland as well and didn't get too much of a preview in there, but it was great to see Kira Yu boot home another winner. But we now shift our attention back here to the KBRC. Race number 3, the Black Diamond Drilling Maiden over the 1400 metres. Big size field goes around here, Riley. How do we see things playing out?
Really open race, Tess. One of the more difficult races of the day for mine. You could make a case for a number of these. A number of these runners have been mixing their form at stages through the preparation as well. So it is, I guess, hard to zero in on what version of which these gallopers are going to turn up today. But I did think it looked a nice race for Perfect Ruler, who also joins Helen Harding's operation from Ryan Hill. She has her first run for Helen this afternoon. She's been going around and running pretty well in better races than what she meets here. She's a horse that lands right over the speed. I thought Zephyr Johnston Porter could arguably lead this field today, dropping back in trip from the mile back to 1400 metres, and if he was able to find the front, I think at a nice enough each way quote. I haven't got the market in front of me at the moment, but he was each way in the betting earlier this morning. I think that's enough to have something on him.
Exactly right, and Helen Harding has got quite a nice stable as well. We've seen some of her ex-runners as well go head up north with Ryan Hill, so they've got a great association, the two of them.
And I'm really intrigued to see how the Jester's Son goes a little bit later on the program as well, Tess. He had some really solid form on the board. He was a former Victorian and ran some good races in Benchmark 64 company over there, which you'd think would be form good enough to hold up here at Kalgoorlie. Didn't mind his run first start here at the KBRC. He ran 30, parked in the breeze in a slowly run race, and only got tired over the concluding stages and had a fair bit of weight to lug as well. So I'm going in with the mindset that maybe he might have just needed that run from a fitness perspective, and hopefully that's really brought him on. He's got a much better barrier to work with later on in the program today, and I think he finds a nice race to make his presence felt as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes too for the team.
Exactly right, and we do still have a bit of time. Runners are nowhere near coming out to this parade ring. I'm not too sure if they are in the back parade ring just yet, Riley, but we've got still a few races to be run here. The quaddie starts next as well. I know you've got some better bets on today's program. We see Sunny Times go around, which is a really exciting opportunity for Mac Hall, and I do know, should give my auntie a bit of a plug as well. She owns the horse up in Carnarvon, so potentially could be heading north as well.
Fingers crossed, yes. And think he goes around a nice price today, Sunny Times. As mentioned, Tess made him the best value bet for mine on the program today. $6 and $2.15 a drum with Tab Touch at the moment. I think that's a nice each way play later on the program for a horse who really impressed me with his first outing here in the West on the sand fibre, and hoping that he can derive some benefit for having that run under the belt. belt up to the mile today from a much better barrier as well. I think he looks a really nice play on what's a pretty difficult day from a betting perspective. Some very open and even races for the remainder of today's program.
We will get your quaddie numbers as well before the next, but our attention now shifts back to race number 3 as runners have now entered the yard. The one is King of France, Justin Robbins and Ava Caterino.
He's been racing quite well this campaign, King of France. He did have some genuine excuses last start. He pulled up post-race with an elevated heart rate, and then Justin Robbins informed the stewards that the horse was going to be tipped out for a spell, but clearly there has been a little bit of a backflip there and a change of decision as he is back at the races here today, 21 days later. As mentioned, his form prior to that last start failure was good. Ran second behind Quick Cookie, fourth behind Think Like a Winner, and third behind Flash Invader, which is all pretty good form at the moment, and the form that's holding up here at Kalgoorlie. But he has been a career maiden test. He's had 27 cracks at it to try and get that elusive first win on the board. He'll roll forward and likely look for the front from the gate, but he's had enough chances for mine.
And has been all across the countryside trying to break that maiden status as well. So fingers crossed today is the day. The 2 is a whim away. Brett Drury hoping for a race-to-race double. Natika Riordan rides.
He's another horse that has had plenty of chances. Start number 21 for a weem away here today. Gets here a month between runs, I should say, leading into last start, and was only fair over 1,200 metres. I do think that's a trip a little bit sharp for him at this stage of his career. Like the fact that they opt to claim again with him. Natika Riordan takes off the 3 kilos, so he does only have the 55 kilos to carry, but until he starts showing a little bit more, I'm happy to put him to the side for now.
The 3 is Perfect Ruler, Helen Harding, Zephyr Johnston Porter.
I do like this race for this 3-year-old test. Still very lightly raced. First run for Helen Harding today, and could prove to be a really handy acquisition as well. I thought he was solid in a maiden over 1,300 metres behind Auto Cruise. That was at Northam back in early June. Ran second behind Glance, a progressive galloper for Peters Investments and Mickey Grantham on a very rain-affected surface down there at Bunbury over 1,400 metres, and very clearly just didn't run the 1,600 metres out last start at Northam. So I do think the fact that he is back to 1,400 metres here today, that's a massive tick. He's a horse that does have gate speed. He's led in 2 of his last 3 starts, so he will roll forward from the gate. I think he'll find this a little bit easier than the races that he has been contesting as well. He should be reaching peak fitness now at this stage of the preparation. I think it looks a really nice race for him at an each-way price.
Does carry just the 56.5 as well after Zephyr's claim. The 4 is Jekyll Island, David Smith, Troy Turner.
Got some ability, this horse. I thought he was a little bit disappointing last start after being slow away. While he was slow away, I thought he was only fair in the run to the line late, beaten 3.5 lengths by Alabama Elegance. Best form from earlier in the preparation would be certainly good enough for this. Ran third behind a nice 3-year-old for Michael Lane in Fire the Lot. That was back on the 14th of May, then was beaten 2.7 lengths Savage Dancer when without a lot of luck in running over 1,200 metres at Bunbury. So he does have some good form on the board. I do think the wide draw hurts his chances this afternoon, but he certainly has the ability to be winning one of these maidens soon.
The 5 is Lendanear, Ashley Grace and Keshaw Dhurun.
Thought he was good 2 starts ago. Hit the line well into second over 1,400 metres behind Flash Invader on that occasion. Stepped up to the mile last start and didn't run the trip. Back to 1,400 metres suits him here today. Has drawn soft in barrier 2 and can certainly improve.
The 6 is Bondi's Sun. The blinkers are on, the visors are off. Second up today, Mac Hall and Luke Campbell.
Went around over 1,200 metres here at Kalgoorlie last start. Was beaten a big margin on that occasion, so hopefully the blinkers going on can sharpen him up a bit here this afternoon, but it looks a pretty tough setup from the draw, not for mine.
Prince of Bondi is the 7, Crystal Burns and Lisa Staples.
He was beaten 3 lengths by Classic Impact a couple of starts ago, and that's not bad form for a Kalgoorlie maiden. I thought he was too bad to be true last start. He was beaten 18.6 lengths, maybe just didn't appreciate the rain-affected surface there. Has his first run for the new camp for Crystal Burns, has a good draw to work with as well in barrier 5, but off last start he would certainly need to lift.
The 8 is Macho Equero, Philippa Elliott and Alex Hearn.
Thought his best was late last start after being a little bit slow out of the barriers from a tricky draw. His work over the final 200 metres was really good, so the step to 14 here today is certainly going to suit him. Gets a senior jockey on board as well in Alex Hearn, who, as we know, booted home the winner of the previous. Those are both ticks. Thought he could push forward from the gate. He's going to need a little bit of luck. The map does look tough from where he's drawn, and he could be posted 3 deep throughout if that is the case, but with a little bit of luck off last start's effort, I think he can feature.
The 9 is the current favourite, $3.60 into $3. Lasting Legacies is second up. Peter Fernie, Lucy Fiore.
And no surprise to see that support for this galloper here, Tess. I thought he was really good last start. He worked home super over the final 200 metres. Jefferson sang in the saddle that day behind the Sheragini. Lucy Fiore jumps on board today. That's always going to be a positive, having his first run for Peter Fernie. So clearly he's been left up here by Jimmy Taylor to race for Pete through the rest of the Goldfield season. Gets out to 1,400 metres, which off the back of last start's going to be a massive positive for this horse. And off that effort, this is certainly winnable.
The 10 is Inner Joy, Ricky Brown, Tash Faithful.
A little bit underwhelming last start, this 3-year-old filly who'd shown plenty of promise in her runs prior to that behind Mama Bell and also Opportunistic at Pinjarra. Had a soft run throughout and was only fair in the run to the line, just never really seemed to travel on the bridle there, Inner Joy. I do think that she can improve here today from barrier 1. Tash Faithful sticks with her, which is a positive sign. She would have had a choice of a few of these, I would think, and think if she can bring her form or replicate the run 2 start to go behind Opportunistic, she'll be going very close.
I Know Nothing is the 11, Peter Fernie, Braden Garth.
She faded out on debut and did race quite green there as well, drawn very wide here and clearly still has a bit to learn.
And the 12 is Hurls, Peter Fernie, Jefferson Sang.
Run last on debut. Blinkers go on here today, like the fact they opt to claim, but will only continue to improve with race experience.
Riley, can I order your 4 for me, please?
3, 9, 10 and 8 my numbers here. Perfect ruler on top for me at an each-way basis, hoping Zeph and Johnston Porter can slide forward into a prominent position with this horse. It has been racing well in better races than what he meets here today, and the drop back to 14 is going to suit him. The 9, Lasting Legacy, certainly winnable off last start's effort. Love the way that he got home, and Lucy Fiore replaces the apprentice jockey, so no surprise to see the support in the market for him. The 10 in for third, Inner Joy, she can certainly improve. She was disappointing here at her first run at Kalgoorlie, but off her runs prior to that, she can certainly give this a shake with that soft run in transit. And the 8 in for fourth in Macho Aquero, going to need some luck from the gate, but I thought his best work was certainly late last start at 1,200 metres. The senior jockey goes on board, and that rise to 14 is going to suit him as well. 3, 9, 10 and 8.
3, 9, 10 and 8 for Riley Morgan ahead of race number 3. We'll hand you up to Royce Newton to call us home. Perfect ruler on top at an each way quote for Riley, as Royce will call us home now.
Thanks, Tess. Yes, runners coming forward here well. This is race number 3, the Black Diamond Drilling Maiden. Field of 12, your favourite, Lasting Legacies at $3 fixed, $2.90 on the Parimutuel as Jekyll Island goes forward into line. Lines up for start number 9 today. Jekyll Island was eye-catching performer last time out. Like to take this opportunity to wish course guru Perry Dunstan a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, Perry. So we've got a handful to come forward here. King of France about to join the line, together with also Prince of Bondi. Thanks, Stu. Tab Radio now on board as Prince of Bondi goes forward. Good to see a horse in the name of Crystal Burns going around once again. So Prince of Bondi locked away Macho Aquero to go forward, which will leave the favourite Lasting Legacies. To complete the line, Lucy Fiore in the saddle. We saw High Pressure take out the previous. Race number 2. Gibraltar Gold in the first. Okay, stand by. They're set at the 1400. Race 3 on the card. Starter waste no time. Gates fly back. They're off racing. Now the favourite Lasting Legacies is going to settle down in the second half of the field. Macho Aquero goes back as well with early speed. It's King of France on the outside of Lendanear. Perfect Ruler up in the firing line as well. And there goes Hurls to sit on speed today as well. They were followed next of all by a Away. Jekyll Island to the outside on the improve, followed by Inner Joy. Lasting Legacies to the outside. Then we had Prince of Bondi. They were followed by I Know Nothing. Bondi's son, and at the tail it's Macho Aquero. That's the field of 12 as they head to the Charles Street side of the course, and it's Perfect Ruler who found the top and the rail. Shows out by a neck. Running second is Hurls. Third down on the inside we've got Lendanear. King of France to the outside fourth. They were followed by Inner Joy, who's had an economic run. Between runners Away and Jekyll Island is 3 wide, followed by Lasting Legacies, who's working into the race at the right time. They were followed next of all by Prince of Bondi, I Know Nothing, Macho Aquero, and it's Bondi's son at the tail. On the point of the turn, it's Perfect Ruler who will bring them into the straight. A length the good, hurls the outside, asked to quicken. They will follow by Lendanear, who needs a split down on the fence. Running on King of France, now Bondi's Son, who's cut the corner, comes through with big strides. Macho Aquero with Inner Joy hitting the lead. It's Lendanear who takes over from Perfect Ruler. Here comes Prince of Bondi between runners with Bondi's Son, but it's Lendanear in front with 50 to run, and Lendanear goes on and wins. Photo second, perhaps on the outside, Prince of Bondi, who crossed the line with Bondi's Son. A break then to Perfect Ruler, who knocked up Macho Aquero. They were followed in by Lasting Legacies. Then we had at the head of the others Inner Joy, together with also I Know Nothing. Hurls knocked up. Jekyll Island had a tough run. They were followed in by A Weem Away, and King of France was one of the last. Well, there you go. A winner for the Ash Grace stable, which is good to see. Lendanear, number 5 for the Kalgoorlie Bowling Club. Well done, gentlemen. Taking out the third here, the Black Diamond Drilling Maiden. Lendanear for Ash Grace. Keshaw Dhurun with a peach of a ride. And Kesh gets on the board today with this 3-year-old I'm All the Talk gelding from Fireside, and owned by the Kalgoorlie Bowling Club, managed by Ash's father, Roger Grace. Ash Grace, the winning trainer there. 7 gets second, Prince of Bondi. Good run here, good first run for Crystal Burns. Lisa Staples in the saddle by Bondi from Wawa Tuzi, and owned by Crystal herself. Third in is the 6, Bondi's Son, who absolutely scraped the paint on the turn there, saved many lengths. Good ride by Luke Campbell from Mac Hall, by Bondi from Black Misty, owned by M. Urquhage, also D. Matricardi, A. Newen, R. Matricardi, Mac Hall, M. Foster, Mrs. K. Foster, B. Chapman, F. Simby, J. Meyer, and Miss J. Leeson. Fourth in was the 3, that's Perfect Ruler. Numbers 5, 7, 6 and 3, a length and a quarter by ahead, 124.96, the winning gallop there for Lendanear. Race 4 is next, the KCLD Cleaning Handicap over the 1100. The scratchings are number 9 and number 12, a field of 9 to run in the next 10 rather, with your favourite Dreamers Never Die at 3:20. But in the meantime, this is one to celebrate as we head down to the yard and join Tess, who has Ash Grace.
There's 25 local blokes that own this horse.
Really?
From the bowling club.
There you go. I've just talked with Ashley quickly, catching up with Ashley now. Very happy owners by the looks of it as well. And a consistent galloper here, and it's great to finally get that win ticked off.
Yeah, it is. I haven't had a winner all year, so it was good to get it out of the way. And he's been consistent with, I think, only one bad run since he got here, which probably had excuses as well. So, yeah, he's been earning, which is good.
And how much does this mean with this group of owners as well?
Oh, they love it. My dad manages the syndicate, and there's 25 of them in it, and they love it. We'll be over at my stables till late tonight.
Absolutely. And you do have another runner in hand-me-down going around later on today. Can we have a double?
Well, not sure. He's got a bit of a tricky barrier again. He's not been able to draw a good gate, so he's got a bit of work to do from barrier 13 today, but he's probably got the ability if he gets the right run.
Congratulations. First of many winners this season, Ashley. Congrats.
Thank you.
There's Ashley Grace, a great result here. Lendanear, it was an impressive victory as well, Riley, and Keshaw Dhurun is in some form at the moment.
He certainly is, Tess. He rode that very nicely, Lendanear, as you mentioned, a horse that has been racing quite consistently this campaign, was able to get that win on the board finally here today, courtesy of a great ride from Keshaw Dhurun. Once he was able to get this horse into the clear in the straight, Tess, I thought he let down really nicely to pick them up over the concluding stages, going away from his opposition on the line as well. I'm looking forward to catching up with Kesh for a quick chat after the win there to see what happened last start and whether this horse just maybe didn't see out the 1600 metres, and that the drop back in trip today to 14 was exactly what he was looking for. Just let Kesh finish up having a chat with winning trainer Ashley Grace here after the win of Lendanear, and then I'll grab Kesh for a quick word. Kesh, that was a really nice win by this horse today. Once you were able to get him into the clear on straightening, he really put them away well.
Yeah, he ran really good. Last time was 1600, probably a little bit far for him. I rode the horse before and it was like 1400. He finished second, and last start was like probably 1600, probably still far. And I said to Ashley, probably back to 14, he will run really well.
Were you confident you had the horse underneath you on straightening that you could pick them up? Because he did seem to settle really well in running today.
Yeah, he jumped really nice and clean, and I thought like, I know outside me probably have two horses have the speed on, and my horse jumped really well, and I know like two horses probably make it cross, and then like I just settled my horse and box seat, and he was traveling really nice when I was just sprinting, give me a good kick.
To give Sunny Times a good hope today for the boss in Mac Hall. You must have been wrapped with his first run here in WA down on the fibre sand.
Oh yeah, he's pretty good horse. He ran really good Saturday, but I never expected. But probably, for my opinion, probably the grass is much better for him.
Best of luck there and well done here.
Thank you.
There's Keshaw Dhurun combining with Ashley Grace and Lendanear taking out the third here. Numbers 5, 7, 6 and 3. Our attention now shifts up to Port Hedland ahead of the Awesome Air Handicap, the 56 plus, over the 1,300 metres. And Riley, we'll be able to get a full preview in here, which is very exciting. So the one is Compact, Malcolm McKenzie, Gian O'Donnell.
Back in class here today, Compact, utilising that claim of Gian O'Donnell, so does get him with a winnable weight with the 58 kilos. He was beaten at Roban last start, ran fourth in a very small field, only a 4-horse field on that occasion, but does generally race a lot better at Port Hedland, so getting back to this track is certainly going to be in his favour, but he does have a tricky draw to have to navigate.
The 2 is Shooting Kentucky, Tom Pike, Rosie Marnie.
He's a pretty versatile gelding and he's in some good form at the moment as well. He was a winner at Port Hedland in a Class 3 2 starts ago, defeating Mrs. Kangaroo. That was a really strong performance to just park in behind the speed and get the better of them over the concluding stages. Went to Marble Bar last start. I don't mind that form around Famo. I think he's going to be a really handy horse up there on the dirt. So that's a form line that I am happy to keep following. Gets a jockey on board who's in some really good form at the moment herself in Rosie Marnie. Maps through a great run from the barrier. He's a pretty tough conveyance.
The next jockey is chasing a treble here, starting at Port Hedland. She's won the first 2 in Kira Yule. She rides She Is God, and Tom Pike trains.
And she's racing really well at the moment, She Is God. She was a winner at Roban 2 starts ago over 1,100 metres, defeating Kia Ora Tattoo, a horse that I'm tipping into a little bit later on the program. She can roll forward. She's lightly raced. She rides the speed. My only concern for her here today, she has been racing over 1,100 metres. That step up to 1,300 metres. Just my gut feel test is that maybe she might tiptoe late.
The 4 is Mrs. Kangaroo, hoping to go back to that winning form. Lee Murray, Bailey Webster.
She is. She's been very consistent this campaign and she's very quick early, as we know, so it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Bailey Webster really carve across the field early doors and find the front. Wasn't far behind Shooting Kentucky 2 starts ago, was beaten just under a length on that occasion, as we mentioned. She will charge forward and I do like the use of that claim. This is winnable for her.
Carries just the 53 after Bailey's claim as well. The 5 is the stablemate and Choice Bid with Kate Pateman aboard.
He's having his first start on the dirt up north, Choice Bid, and previously racing at Northam and Bunbury on those rain-affected tracks earlier this campaign. The visors go straight on for Lee Murray. Did lead last start as well, so we know this is a horse that has some early speed, which should hopefully hold him in good stead up on the dirt, but it has been a long time since he saluted the judge, over 1,000 days.
The 6 is Hot Pudding, carrying just the featherweight of 51.5, because after Tiana Murray's claim, Malcolm McKenzie trains.
Thought he was solid 2 starts ago, ran third over 1,400 metres behind He's a Bow, then was slow out of the barriers last start under Zephyr Johnston Porter and was never a factor as a result. He does step up in class here, which is a bit of a knock for mine. Draws barrier 1, which could suit if he gets a clean getaway. As you mentioned, carries no weight, but I do prefer a couple of others.
The 7 is Incandescent Lady, won last start at Carnarvon. Ryan Hill, Holly Nottle.
Led and won last start. Tess, yes, as you mentioned, should be able to find the front once again from barrier 3. She's very quick early doors, but that was only over the 1,000 metres, and that step to 1,300 metres here today is the query for mine.
And the 8 is Novatorio, Tim Pike and Michael Hegney.
She was a dominant winner 2 starts ago when she was actually disqualified post-race after Holly Nottle unfortunately weighed in light. Forgive run last start for mine at Marble Bar. There were certainly some excuses for her there. I like that form line though behind Famo. Senior jockey goes on board today and he can be positive from the gate as well and hopefully hold a strong position over the pace.
2 minutes remain. We'll get a quick marker and then your numbers quickly, Riley, ahead of race number 3 in Port Hedland. She Is God is the favourite, $2.